Blog Talk Radio.
All praises, all praises, all praises to our Elohim, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The one, the great I am, the Creator, our Redeemer. All praises. And likewise, all praises to Yahweh Shai, to Yeshua, to the Holy Spirit, our earthly mother. All praises. For without any of them, we would be a Gentile. We would be in fear like the Gentiles. It's very interesting to me how the whole world is seeing weather issues, weather patterns, and they don't make anything of it. Yes, they're on TikTok and Instagram and they're showing the things, but they're not even connecting the dots. But yet there will be people that will try to come against us for connecting the dots. The nations are a derelicted people at this point. They're worrying about the immigrants, so-called immigrants, that they don't want to let in, that they want to let in. They concern themselves with, politics and all of these things are typified by the weather. We know when it's nice and sunny, people seem to be different. When it's gloomy, people seem to be different. What's happening in 2023, because that's where we're still in. We're not quite into 2024 yet, but soon. What's happening in the latter stages of 2023 is a complete and fundamental shift of the earth. The earth is kicking people off. It's changing people's views. It's changing people's. Resonating of the earth has gotten the vibration of many that's on it in disarray. And we know this. And we know this because we can see it in the weather. We can see how the weather is, just making people crazy. I mean, I'm in North Carolina, so it was 70 today, but it was windy and muggy. Like, why is it 70 degrees in February? Nobody's asking these questions. Of course, they're asking it to themselves, and I'm sure that those people in high places with demonic principalities are asking themselves, is this the end? And of course, their answer is yes. This is the end. So, 4 years ago, I said, Donald J. Trump, or whatever his name is the last trump, the last trumpet of the Gentiles. And here we are again, and the Gentiles are all in for Trump. Now, by some stretch of the imagination, if Trump doesn't get in, these people are going to lose their mind. If Trump does get in, these people are going to lose their mind. So he is the last trump. He is their last trump card. They're playing their last card. They have no more ammunition. They have no more energy. They have no more functionality. They are stricken with fear. And we know that the Blue Kachina, Nibiru, Pluto is wreaking havoc upon the mentality and the spirituality of the world. And to me, if these things are evident, I personally would be trying to figure out who is it not wreaking havoc with spiritually and mentally upon the earth. That's what I would be doing. Because whoever it is not wreaking havoc on mentally and spiritually, those are the people who I would need to be having conversations with, who I would need to be involved with in and around. Because, when the world would not even have an understanding of spirituality if it was not for the Israelites. Last week, I did Jubilees 15 and 32, showing what the Father said was, what he did, how he put all this into play by putting spirits upon the other nations to lead them astray from him, but not Israel, because we are his. Now, we got these cleaving Gentiles now coming on saying, hey, I'm down. Okay, I'm not tripping. I think if that's what you are, understand that as a concept, that you are part of us, but you are not us. You are us in part. See, tonight I'm trying to talk about prophecy, because that's the difference in this whole thing. We're not talking about now. Before I get to say that, the word they've used words against us, as we know, but the word history is a direct indicator of who has control or who is in rule. His story, because our story, we're not involved in that story. Everybody has been trying to, the Khazarian and Germanic Indo-Europeans, all have, including the Asians and the Hamites, have all been fighting these people, Khazarian, Germanic, Indo-Europeans, to be a part of his story. So he created a story, a narrative, all to his own. Had nothing to do with truth or reality or righteousness. It had everything to do with his story. And that's why it's a losing battle to have conversations with any of them, even the cleaving. You see, the cleaving have to just cleave and be quiet. They have to study, they have to seek, they have to cleave. They don't get to cleave, seek, study, and then be part of the hierarchy, because the hierarchy is ordained from the Father, and there are no Gentile hierarchies based on what I've read. There's no Gentiles within the hierarchy. They're to cleave. They're going to be maidservants and manservants. They're not going to be the priests, the kings, the princes, the princesses, the queens. So while I look on TikTok and listen to these people entertain themselves with folly of we all and salvation is all and all. Yeah, salvation comes to the world because of Israel, because the Father said, I'm going to bring salvation and redemption to my people, and by default, some of the Gentiles will cleave. That's prophecy. The regathering, the redemption, the salvation is for, to, and about Israel. Not the Israelis, but Israel. True Israel. And this is the dysfunction that they're feeling. They're feeling this discomfort. They're like, I'm not comfortable with this understanding that we're going to be at the bottom, that we're going to have to cleave, that we're not going to have a voice, we're not going to have a say, that I'm not going to be able to do this, I'm not going to be able to do that. But that's not our problem. Matter of fact, that's their problem. You got, the king's mouths are being shut. Biden, shut. His mouth is shut. The dude can't even walk upstairs, let alone walk down them, let alone talk. You got McCorkle, Mitch. That dude who had the audacity to come out his lips to tell us, niggas, we gave you a black president, Obama. What more you want? You don't need no reparations, niggers. We gave you your reparations in the form of Obama. And now that dude can't talk. That dude's mouth is shut. That dude is walking a living nightmare. His sins are upon him. And there's going to be many more that will follow him, Biden, Pelosi, all of these people and their cronies, the younger ones that are running around here. If they don't change, they got a month. In my opinion, they got a month to get it right, to understand, to cleave, to say, you know what, these niggers are Israel. You know, these people that we've had at the bottom is Israel based on the prophecy. They got a month to realize that. And, you know, what's her name? Nimrata. Oh, America's not a racist country. Well, in truth, it's not. But in fact, it is. Why do I say that? In truth, this is our land. We're not racist. We have no power to be racist. In fact, it is. Just last weekend, or the weekend before, the little neo-Nazis and Klansmen are riding around talking doo-doo in Tennessee. And that's just the ones that they showed. These people are struggling. And tonight, we're going to try to talk about, we're going to discuss their struggle as it relates to prophecy. Because what's interesting is that they don't have any prophecy. Now, if they are the chosen people, if Ish is the chosen people, and the Europeans are the chosen people, then what prophecy do they have? When you do a search, of course, if you do a search on prophecy, a Christian prophecy, what they're doing is they're piggybacking off of the Israelite prophecy, okay, based on their story, their narrative. And I'm going to show that. But first, this is the deal. Let me get to it. Hold on. Let me find it again. I mean, when we, or I should say it like this, we have been saying things are not right. You know, they've been saying, hey, you weren't alive then. I wasn't alive then. That doesn't matter. Okay, my dad dealt with racism in a enslaved mentality, Indo-Khazarian, Germanic, Indo-European, so-called American European mindset. My grandfather dealt with that. My great-great-grandfather dealt with it. My great-great-grandfather dealt with it. And so all the way back. So for me, that's just like yesterday. Because it's never been dealt with. It's never been rectified. Now, true indeed, it was not to be rectified by the nations, but only by way of our power, our Father, which is what's happening now. So the pains of slavery is still strong in our spirit because it was never sorted out. It was never redeemed. It was never accounted for. It was never reconciled. And to them, they say, well, we had nothing to do with that. Well, you did because you are not reconciling the error. You're not fixing the problem. There is no solution to fix a problem that you will not acknowledge. So no, there is no ability for us, the Israelites, the Hebrews, the Negroes, to accept anything that the nations say because they have yet to reconcile with us of what they have done. And okay, they don't acknowledge that. Doesn't matter because now the prophecies are with us. See, the prophecy used to be against us during our cursings. When we were at the bottoms, prophecy was against us. You will be in slavery for 400 years. We're like, oh, is it 400 over yet? We have had the prophecies against us, and they have had the prophecies for them. Now, our prophecies, mind you. And now that the prophecies are now benefiting us and now is against them, well, now they're feeling some sort of way. And as they should. And this isn't even difficult. It's not a hard pill to swallow for us anymore. Matter of fact, we are no longer having to swallow any pills. We're now able to eat off the tree of life. So let's get into this because this is, prophecy. I want to read the chapter 3, Destroyer, part 1 from the Great Scroll of the Colburn. Okay? And tell me if this isn't what's happening. And not what will and what will happen. If this is not what we're seeing. So let's begin. Men forget the days of the destroyer. Only the wise know where it went and that it will return in its appointed hour. It raged across the heavens in the days of wrath, and this was its likeness. It was as a billowing cloud of smoke enwrapped in a ruddy glow, not distinguishable in joint or limb. Now, time out. Now, when we look at the X marking the spot where it's an X through Nineveh this time and through Salem last time, through all the Salems and now through all the Ninevehs, we have to remember that this is an Aleph symbol. And the destroyer comes through the X to create the Aleph. That looks like this, a ruddy glow, not distinguishable in joint or limb. So it's like a comet. Its mouth was an abyss from which came flame, smoke, and hot cinders. When ages pass, certain laws operate upon the stars in the heavens. Their ways change. There is movement and restlessness. They are no longer constant, and a green light appears readily in the skies. When blood drops upon the earth, the destroyer will appear, and mountains will open up and belch forth fire and ashes. Trees will be destroyed, and all living things engulfed. Waters will be swallowed up by the land, and seas will boil. The heavens will burn brightly and redly. There will be a copper hue over the face of the land, followed by a day of darkness. A new moon will appear and break up and fall. The people will scatter in madness. They will hear the trumpet and battle cry of the destroyer, and will seek refuge in the den of the earth. Terror will eat away their hearts, and their courage will flow from them like water from a broken pitcher. They will be eaten up in the flames of wrath and consumed by the breath of the destroyer. Now, to me, yes, this could happen physically, but to me, this is a spiritual warfare first. So all this madness that comes with seeing this thing is what is in store for the nations. It's clearly the 12th woe that we're in. Clearly the 12th woe. And this destroyer is a sign of the end of the revived Roman Empire. Thus, in the days of heavenly wrath, which have gone, and thus it will be in the days of doom when it comes again. The times of its coming and going are known unto the wise. These are the signs and times which shall precede the destroyer's return. 110 generations shall pass into the west, and nations will rise and fall. Men will fly in the air as birds, and swim in the seas as fishes. Men will talk peace one with another. Hypocrisy and deceit shall have their day. Women will be as men, and men as women. Passion will be a plaything of man. A nation of soothsayers shall rise and fall, and their tongue shall be the speech learned. A nation of lawgivers shall rule the earth and pass away into nothingness. One worship will pass into the four quarters of the earth. There's your four quarters, 4 parts of the earth, talking peace and bringing war. There's your nations. There's Ishanim. A nation, ceasefire, talking peace, but knowing that they're going to bring some more. They're going to bring that pain. A nation of the seas will be greater than any other, but will be as an apple rotten at the core and will not endure. A nation of traitors will destroy men with wonders, and it shall have its day. Then shall the high strive with the low, the north with the south, the east with the west, and the light with the darkness. Men shall be divided by their races, and the children will be born as strangers among them. Brother shall strive with brother, and husband with wife. Fathers will no longer instruct their sons, and their sons will be wayward. Women will become the common property of men, and will no longer be held in regard and respect. Then men will, there's your, what's that girl's name? All of those rappers. Then men will be ill at ease in their hearts. They will seek they not know what, and uncertainty and doubt will trouble them. They will possess, used to be, before 2019, all the Gentiles all over the earth was, let me go on vacation, let me plan for this, let me do this, let me do that. Now, not so much. Now, not much at all. Uncertainty and doubt will trouble them. They will possess great riches, but be poor in spirit. Then will the heavens tremble and the earth move. Men will quake in fear, and while terror walks with them, the heralds of doom will appear. They will come softly as thieves to the tombs. They will come softly as thieves to the tombs. Men will know that's weird. Men will know them. That doesn't make it. Men will. It must be a T missing there. Men will not know them for what they are. Men will be deceived. The hour of the destroyer is at hand. So all the deception that's going on in the earth, they think T.D. Jakes is fine. They think Copeland's fine. They think white Jesus is fine. They think Ish are the people. They think white people are the people. Men are deceived. Men will be deceived. The hour of the destroyer is at hand. In those days, men will have the Greek book before them. There you go. There's a Greek book, New Testament. Wisdom will be revealed. That's what's happening to us. The few will be gathered for the stand. This is what's happening. It is the hour of trial. The dauntless ones will survive. The stout-hearted will not go down to destruction. great God of all ages, alike to all, who sets the trials of man, be merciful to our children in the days of doom. Man must suffer to be great, but hasten not his progress unduly. In the great winnowing, be not too harsh on the lesser ones among men. Even the son of a thief has become your scribe. There you go. All of this has happened and is happening. Now, the Colburn is nothing more than Enoch. Enoch wrote a lot. And I think that, when we look at the Colburn and we put it in perspective in terms of our scriptures, it says the same thing. Now, let's move over here to the Hopi. And I'm just going to read the Anishinaabe prophecy of the eighth fire, because this, and I would venture to say, read the Hopi prophecy. It correlates too. It's ours too. The Hopis are our people. Before I read this one, there's people like, hey, the Hispanics and the Latins are our brothers. Listen, no, they're not. They're not. The only brethren, the only people that are Israel are the ones that act and think like Israel. They know races, Hispanic, Latino, hating on Negroes and hating on dark-skinned people are brother. They don't get a pass just because they say they are but are not. That's the same concept of those who say they are but are not applies to everyone across the board, not just Ish. Because everyone is saying who they are, but they are not. Everyone is trying to tell us who we are, but we are not. We are the children of the Creator. By spiritual means and physical understanding only. What is it to be an Israelite? Circumcision. The nations all decided they were going to be circumcised. Doesn't make them Israel. Okay? But the circumcision isn't just the circumcision in the physical, but it's also the circumcision in the spiritual. And this is what the nations all fail. They say, oh, well, all you got to do is get baptized. That's all you got to do. You got to get baptized. Now you're saved. How is that? If I get baptized, I saw T.D. Jakes get baptized by Taylor, whatever his name, Perry. He threw some water on him. Might as well spit on him. I've seen the Pope throw water on these people. Is that getting you prepared? It's about your heart. And every day we see the heart of the nations. We see it in the fact that, hey, you guys are killing people. You're poisoning the water. You're poisoning the air. You're still lying. You're still cheating. You still propagate lust, the vices. Let me get that real quick. Hold on a second. They set their world up on vice, which is antichrist. And I think that we all know this. We all know this. The sins. This is what they set their system on as we were asleep. Pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth, and their opposite, and sloth. I don't know what sloth is, but I'm sure it sounds nasty. The opposite, which is Christ-like or Israelite, law-abiding like chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility. Which society is the society built on the virtues? No. Are they built on the vices? Yes. That's why like we didn't build the society, so we're not going to be partakers of that because we've come up out of that. Our job, our deal, what we have to do to ensure us being to ensure our value, because our Father has paid for us, to ensure our value is not to be involved with pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. I think that's sloth. And this is what they built their entire system on. And they think that it's okay for them to have done that and that we should continue entertaining it. This isn't truly, this is not even about them. This is all about us and how we deal with them. It was the way it was in the beginning. How did we deal with them? We mistreated them. We treated them not as bad as they have treated us by no stretch of the imagination, but we mistreated them. We thought less of them. So we had to go under them to gain the humility, to gain the chastity, the temperance, the charity, the diligence, the patience, and the kindness. And now that we have gained a similitude of it, we don't want the other. We're not interested in the other. This is where working on oneself, working on the shadows, working on how we are individually and collectively comes in hand. It's very handy. And this is what we've been doing. It's so interesting. Like the last 7 years, we have done so much, so much in understanding and getting ourselves straight that now we have the ability to see right through them. We now have the ability to see their spirit, to see who they are as they come. Kind of reminds me of what's the movie when you put the glasses on? Again, nothing new. Now we can see them. We got our glasses on. We're able to see who they are and who they are not. And although they have a lot of claims, they claim the land, they claim the people, they claim the infrastructure, they claim the wisdom, they claim the laws. We see right through their false claims. We see right through it. And yeah, they're scared, as they should be. Their spirits are vexed, as they should be, because they too have to be purified if they want to come with us. And they don't get 7 years to do it. See, that's the rub that they got going on. They're like, well, why don't we get the same amount of time? You don't. Matter of fact, you got more time because you had us in derision. You had the knowledge and wisdom in hiding. You've had every opportunity, nations, Gentiles, and heathens, to do the right thing. You've had that opportunity. Why would the Father give you 7 years? 7 years to figure this out? No, He gave His children 7 years. And then from there, month to month. I mean, matter of fact, He gave you guys 7 years because we were telling you the 7 years. You just didn't want to believe it. So you came late, as you have always done, come late to the game. Now you're here at the end of your reign, and you think that you are the referee. And you're not. You're a bench player. And you have to accept your role. Matter of fact, you're the water carrier. And you're being questioned on that because you spilled a lot of it. And you can't have that look on your face at us. You cannot come against the Father's loin, his sinew, his ligaments, and think while those are within the body of the Father, you will prevail. Nations, this isn't even hard anymore. I see it at work. People just, I deal with office. I deal with it. Sister Pat's correct. These people are defeasing all over the place. They're giving the keys up. The banks are holding the notes to the properties. And guess what? Do the banks want the property? No. They want the money. They want the value of the property because that's Ish. Ish owns it, owns the banks. They don't want the property. They want the revenue off of the property. So who's going to buy the property? Here's the irony of the whole thing. Who's buying these properties that are being defeased, that the people, the nation people, the Germanic people, are defeasing, are giving the keys out? Who's doing that? The Asians, the Persians, and the Arabs. They're the ones that are buying these properties out. But they're not going to be able to keep them because their money is going to go away. This whole concept of the West is about to be completed in another month. And this is why there is a lot of fear. And the fear is deservedly so. This is the Anishinaabe prophecy of the eighth fire. They will come to a fork in the road. One road will lead to materialism and destruction for almost all living creatures. The other road will lead to a spiritual way upon which the native people will be standing. This path will lead to the lighting of the eighth fire, a period of eternal peace, harmony, and new earth, where the destruction of the past will be healed. So Jeremiah 51:9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment has reached unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So every prophecy of our people are saying the same thing. All of them. They're all saying the same thing. There will be a cleansing, a purification, and a redeeming. Now, if the nation people believe that they're going to be part of the redeeming, well, the first question that needs to be asked is, one, why? The next is how? And then what does that look like to you, nations? Because if the nations who are the ones that are doing this evil are the ones also to be purified, what does that make the Father? What does that make the prophecies? What does that make justice? So the nations do not have a dog in this fight. They think that they do, but they don't. They cannot come against our Father. They can't come against us. They're getting destroyed all over the place. And it's funny, Judah made that point that they'll come in, poke their head in, and talk some madness and get beat down. You know, it's the rap song. Punks jump up to get beat down. And this is what's happening. They can't even, they think that they're talking to, and it's funny because they're on TikTok talking to themselves. They're talking to their people. And here we come, we interject, and Jeremiah 16:19, No, this is redemption. Nah, you guys got to repent. You're not going to be able to get away from repenting. If you think, nations, for a minute, that you don't have to repent for your forefathers, you are already destroyed. You can rest assured that if you are not thinking that you need to repent, you will be destroyed. If you think for a minute white Jesus is a god, a deity, that idol that you worship is going to save you, the rocks will be melting. You will be melting. You will be drowned in your own conceit. Because we are no longer blind. We see you, 83. We see you. You can't hide and seek. This game of hide and seek that you've been playing with us, we see you now. You're standing in the middle of the field, over there behind a tree, and we see you. You're not hidden anymore. As much as you wish you were, you are not. And it's fine by us. We're not playing your game. We walked away from your game. Your game is weak. And to be honest, if you're going to kill each other, kill each other. Do it. And the brothers and sisters who have gone and done this thing to be part of your army, your military, hey, if the Father protects them, so be it. That has nothing to do with us that are not cleaving to you. The cleaving has switched. Now it's your turn to cleave. It's your turn to cleave. And this is more prophecy, more understanding. Jude 14 through 16. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. There's the mocking. They mocked us. They mocked our Father. I mean, think of them saying, oh, well, you people, the Israelites, the Hebrews are no more, and it's white Jesus now. That's mocking. Because the Father is our power, and he just did this thing to us to get us straight. And while he was straightening us up, the nations, the heathens, were over there mocking him. Look, where's your God? Who is your God? There is no God. Only a fool says these things. A foolish nation, whom he put over us, whom he knew were going to do these things. And they weren't going to atone for it. They weren't going to repent for it, all the way to the end. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. That's the sealed portion. There's your secret combinations. These things, like everything is just popping off the page. The word has become living because once we lived, the word lived, because the word is ours. It is inside of us. So like I was listening to this thing on social media, and it's this white lady talking about the temple. Oh, well, there's heifers, the red heifers, they've got 7 holy cows. That's what I call them, holy cows. And I'm thinking to myself, And so I comment, I said, you do realize that the temple is in us, that it's the people, the Elohim, right? Has nothing to do with cows. These people are so ignorant. They're the most ignorant people because of their story, because they have created a story of ignorance. And they think that their story gives them validation, that it validates their existence. And it doesn't. Their existence is truly of no consequence. If it was not for us, they would not exist. Matter of fact, if it was not for us, they would not be who they are today. Everybody want to be us. Everybody want our blessings, but don't nobody want the curses. Everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. These are the Gentiles' folly. They don't even understand their error. And it's easy to see today. It's easy, especially through prophecy's eyes, to see the wretchedness and the raggediness of the nations. It's no surprise. And then they're going to be upset when they start meeting their demise. This is why we are wise. As we continue to thrive in our Father's wisdom. And yeah, we're not all the cleanest, greatest, perfectest people yet. We're seeking it. We're seeking that. We want that. That's a beautiful thing, to have your thoughts, to be able to start purifying your thoughts and your actions and your tongue and your sight and your ears. And to purify your body, to sanctify, to be sanctified is a beautiful thing. See, the Gentiles don't want to be sanctified. They can't. Because they have to admit too much, and they're not prepared to do that. They'd rather die than tell the truth. That's what they'd rather do. So this is Jeremiah 4, and we're going to start at And we're going to start at And we're going to start at 3. For thus saith the Elohim to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns. Circumcise, let's back up. Fallow ground and sow not among thorns. That's us coming up out of these people. Come up out of their system. Don't believe in their system. Circumcise yourselves to the Elohim, to your Elohim, and take away the foreskins of your heart, ye men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. Declare ye in Judah and publish in Jerusalem, and say, blow ye the trumpet in the land, cry, gather together, and say, assemble yourselves, and let us go into the defense cities. There's your Goshen. Set up the standard towards Zion. Retire, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north and a great destruction. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. There's your Cobra. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. So what has befallen us will surely befall them. This is what is karma. This is what is reality. This is what is prophecy. Why can we, without certainty, why can we with certainty say these things? Because it's happened to us. Because it's happened to us. That's what I'm saying. So our spirit is our spirit of our ancestors coming back today through us, fighting for us, helping to purify us. It ain't us doing this. We didn't wake ourselves up. We didn't learn this stuff by ourselves. The Spirit did that. Our spirit did that by the collaboration of the consciousness of Yahweh Shai. That's our beauty. That is our redemption. You know, they talk about the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and they're like, all the people in the world ever is supposed to be in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. No, ninjas, no dummies, only the Gentiles, only those that have done a grievous thing will be in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Dummies. That's the whole. That's you've had all the. You say you're the people. You say that you are ancient, but you don't even have any knowledge of spirituality. You have none. You don't even understand that the prophecies are against you, or maybe you do, and that's why you've changed everything. It's funny, everything has been taken from the Hebrew, and the Aramaic, the Greek, the English. Why can't we just get it in the Hebrew? Why can't we learn the truth, Gentiles? If in fact you all are the people and are righteous as you claim, then why are you not giving us the source from the word, from the source, the original word, and let us and our spirit and your people too learn the truth? Why you got to give us a white Jesus? If you were the chosen people, would the color of Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, the Savior, be relevant? Somehow you guys, nations, have made the color more relevant than the word. And therein lies the prophecy, because you all didn't even acknowledge the word, because the word was suppressed along with the people. Once the people were released, they gave their free will back. They've got their own vibration and their own frequency and their own understanding back. Then they can obtain the word back. Soon we'll be speaking different languages. We'll be speaking the original language. Soon we'll be able to know exactly what tribe we're from, exactly what lands are ours. Because as you elevate and get further from the point of reference, you get to see all. This is why they stunted us and kept us down, because we elevate so fast. 7 years? Imagine over the last 400 years where we would have been had our forefathers not done that thing that they did. Imagine the elevation, where we imagine the righteousness that would already be on the world. Imagine living in Enoch's kingdom of righteousness, David's kingdom of righteousness. I mean, imagine that. Yet, instead, we're living in an unrighteous society, a wicked system, under a wicked system, with degenerate, heathen men and women. This is why when they want to come at us about anything spiritual, We say, well, wait, look at your history. Wait, look at your actions. Wait, look at your society. For your society is full of crabs. There is no righteousness in it. Oh, but we got the Pope. He is a demon. Oh, my pastor, a demon. Why would the Father give bishop, give titles like that on earth? That's not his doing. That is a heathen doing, a entitled entitlement of heathenism. They're the ones, oh, I got to be over you. That's why, and I'm not going against our brethren. That's why when I hear brothers say, oh, well, he's an elder. Look, we all elders. We all been around a long time. We've all lived. We've all gone through something. Ain't nobody greater than the next. So when someone says, oh, the elder, that is a heathen Gentile understanding. That is an oppressive understanding. I am over you. You need to listen to me. That stuff is out the window. That's gone. Why? Because we're in the Aquarius age. We're no longer having to deal with people who are oppressive. There's no way to oppress people anymore unless they want to be oppressed. That's what MLK was saying. The greatest oppressor is the minds of the oppressed. Why? Because the mind is the thing that allows one to take or keep free will. And yeah, these people we talk about payment, judgment. Listen, these people have to convict themselves before even the judgment, before even the payment comes. This is why the 12th woe, let me get that real quick, because we need to reiterate this 12th woe so that we can understand what's really going on. This is Second Baruch, the book of the Apocalypse of Baruch, the son of Neriah. And they took this out, right? Of course they took it out because they didn't want their people to realize what type of situations they will be in at the end, at their end, at the end of their reign. They shot themselves up with the jab of iron, right? To try to harden their feet. And it didn't work. It actually made it more brittle. So the Gentile man, the revived Roman Empire, the Gentiles, the heathens, civilization has fallen. It's breaking apart at the feet, at the foundation, at the foot, at the base. It's just 27, Second Baruch. And he answered, and he said unto me, into 12 parts is that time divided, and each one of them is reserved for that which is appointed for it. In the first part there shall be the beginning of commotions, and the second part there shall be slayings of the great ones. See, these things have already happened. And in the third part, the fall of many by death. And in the fourth part, the sending of the sword. And in the fifth part, famine and the withholding of rain. And in the sixth part, earthquakes and terrors. This is why Yahushua said all these things will happen, but it's not over yet. The eighth part is wanting. Wanting. It's like lacking in a certain required or necessary quality. They weren't wanting in confidence. They were lacking, not existing or supplied, absent. So wanting. And in that was the and in the sixth part, earthquakes and terrors. The seventh is wanting. And in the eighth part, a multitude of specters and attacks of the shadim. This is your mental illness. And in the ninth, in that mental illness, the mental illness comes from them not repenting, them not atoning. And really quickly, a righteous nation shows horror movies. Every horror movie is about their church. In your face. Every horror movie is about their church. They always got to have some little cross in it, or they got to have some priest or some minister in it. But it's all to do with demons. So it seems to me that the church is what's inciting the demons. And in the eighth part, a multitude of specters and attacks of the shadim. And in the ninth part, the fall of fire. And in the 10th part, rapine and much oppression. And in the 11th part, wickedness and unchastity. And in the 12th part, confusion. Now here is where we are. This is where we are in February 28, 2024. This is where we are. And in the 12th part, confusion from the mingling together of all those things aforesaid. We have reached the point of elevation, and they have reached the point of descending. They're descending into madness and chaos, and we are elevating into light. And light, it took a long time for light to get to us, because that's what light does. It travels slower than sound. So for a long time, they've been able to speak and say things, and in them saying things and doing things, it was antichrist. It was against us. But now light has shown up, and everything that has been said is being shown for what it is. And because light shows up in the 12th woe, the confusion and of the commingling of all the other woes before it, now we should understand what's going on. And to be honest, we understand it. Now the nations should understand it. And, they won't read, they won't acknowledge. It's like Dave, that fella Dave on TikTok. He was talking doo-doo, and he said, he brought out numbers. Let me see what he brought out numbers. The dude was useless. But hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. Where's this jack of cracker? Where did he go? Ah, here we go. So this dude, he was talking mess, and he brought out numbers 15, 14 through 16. So let's go to that real quick. This is what he did. This is his logic. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Elohim, as ye do, so he shall do. One ordinance shall be both of you of the congregation, and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you. An ordinance forever in your generations, as ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Elohim. One law and one manner shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourns with you. Okay, that makes sense, Dave. Yeah. You have to do what we do. Right. It's not us doing what you do. So anyway, that's what he tried to say, because he's under the guise that, Gentiles are just as good, if not better, than the Israelites. Israel doesn't matter anymore because they can do what we do and be us. This was his logic. And I said Numbers 35:33. And this is what got him. I think because I ain't seen him. He ain't said nothing in a minute. I said Numbers 35:33. And we know that, right? We know Numbers 35:33. But let's get it. Goodness gracious. Let's do that. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And so Dave here, he said, don't unalive people. Don't unalive people. The audacity. So I said, I'm not. The Creator is. Plus, isn't that the karma of the ones who brought forth their doctrine by blood? That's between them and the Creator, not me. Ghost, crickets, that fool is gone. He packed up, rolled out like the Baltimore Colts going to Indianapolis. Just rolled out. So, these people, when it comes down to, hey, you've got to pay for the sins of your forefathers, they don't want nothing to do with that. That's why they won't repent. They'll repent for themselves. Oh, I sinned. Jesus saved me from my sins. So, it's all good. No, man, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. It's not how any of this works. None. And it's like, okay, so God did that. Oh. So when I go to Christianity and say, hey, I want Christian prophecies, this is what they say. Bible prophecy or biblical prophecy comprises the passages of the Bible that are claimed to reflect communications from God to humans through prophets. Christians usually consider the biblical prophets to have received revelations from God. All right. Okay, so what? Where is your biblical eschatology, Christians? Oh, that's right. The rapture. The rapture. Therein lies your error. So everybody else on the face of the earth, all of Israel, all of the aboriginal, the indigenous, the original people are talking about a time of redemption and salvation, peace, and righteousness upon the earth. And the Gentile heathen Christians are talking about escaping. You see? This is the difference. Like our eschatologies are different. We're not a Buddhist, Hinduist, Muslim, whatever. We're not acknowledging any of their story of the Abrahamic 3 religions. We're not acknowledging that. Just because they took our knowledge and created these things, these abominable, bastardized stories, does not mean that that is ours. We have taken back our stories, taken back our scriptures, taken back our word, taken back our Elohim. We have taken back our free will, and none of them can come against us. None of them. They talk very good. They're very good in talking the talk. But when it comes right down to the point where they have to explain the story fully, they then take the walk and their talk with them. And it used to be where we follow behind them saying, but this, but that, but this. And they say, scoff, 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 scoff. You all don't know anything. Scoff, scoff. Now, we just watch them walk off. And they go, well, where are they? Where are they that give me purpose? See, we are their purpose. We have been their purpose. They have been on purpose keeping us down. If they didn't have us to oppress, what point is it of them? See, these are the questions. And you know, I'm not saying all of them are terrible people and this, that, and the third. I'm not saying that because there's no truth in that. There's no truth in the absolute, other than absolute power corrupts absolutely within a wicked world. Absolutely it does. But the reality is that they are not trying to think collectively righteously. That's why they're paranoid. It's like you can go and do something, be doing something, meditating in prayer and writing and just being in the presence of the Father, and you come back and they'll give you the well, what you doing? Where you been? Oh, I don't know what you talking about. And it's like, listen, no one has time. No one. Our people are not. We don't have time to be trying to. What's the word? We don't have time. We don't have time. We're not making time to bounce between two worlds. We're not doing that anymore. It used to be we had to dance with with their demons. Now we don't. And now those demons that they used to force upon us run from us. They're running from us. And it's only us that allow the demons to settle. Because our Father is our power. Their demons are their Father. That's why it's going to be tough for them to break away from their demons to be part of our power. Because they're just not there. So it's like, okay, so if you're being raptured away, heathens and Gentiles, Christians and such, and others, and Khazarian, Germanic, Indo-Europeans, if you're getting out of here, or if you think that Allah or Buddha or Krishna or whatever is saving you and giving you your chakras, and all, if that's what you believe, tell me, who is this? Who are these people? For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, which he has done, it's already done, I will also gather all nations. Well, who are the nations he's gathering? And I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So when did Ish get scattered among the nations? And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, Turkey, Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? That's why I'm not involved with the Ish and Palestine issue, the coasts of Palestine. will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver, my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, the Greeks, that ye might remove them far from their border. When has that happened? Who has that happened to? When has that happened to anyone but who it has happened to? Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. This is where we are. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, probably the Iranians, to the Persians, to a people far off, for the Elohim, for their Elohim hath spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. This is what we're doing. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Elohim. So wait, he's calling out these heathen. Who's the heathen? Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. So he's going to wake up the heathen just like he woke us up to come to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. That's why it's not all people who, like they say about Jehoshaphat, oh, it's going to be all people that ever lived on the face of the earth is going to be in Jehoshaphat for judgment day. No, fools. This is the heathen only. This is y'all's judgment. He's already judged Israel because he judged us first. This is what they don't get. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitude, multitude in the valley of decision, for the day of the Elohim is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Elohim also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. For the Elohim will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. See, that's our good news. That's our good news. Isaiah 62, for Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory. And thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Elohim shall name. Thou shall also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Elohim, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy Elohim. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken. Let me read that again. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of Yahweh Shai, and a royal diadem in the hand of Ahiah, right? The Elohim. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah, for the Elohim delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. And that's the deal. The land is troubled because we have been troubled. We have not been sanctified to be in the same marriage with our land, liking our Father. That's why the whole thing has been out of balance, because we have not been married properly. We've been married to the heathen, to their idols. And our Father is not having it. He wasn't having it. And he put us down. But he said that he's going to take care of us after we go through some punishment. See, that's the scriptures. That's prophecy that the nations want no parts of, because they know once we rise, they fall. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoice over the bride, so shall thy Elohim rejoice over thee. Okay? This is the good news. This is why we do what we do. This is why we are now where we are. This is why we know we know who we are. We know what's really going on, because this is the promise. Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. Hey, nations, you don't think that? I mean, what captivity have you been in for you to remember yourselves? Oh, well, that happened, in Egypt. Well, we're in Egypt still. You just passed Egypt. It's funny about Egypt, too, because the man, Daniel, the Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the man, everywhere you see that today, the bronze, I guess it's, what's it called? I'd say it's pants, but it's not pants. It's little, whatever they called it, a bronze. They got grease. And it's funny, my Pan-African brethren don't go hard after these Greeks and these Europeans about usurping their spot in Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Egypt is the Bronze Age. Egypt is the Bronze Age, not Greece. So where it says, let me see. Let's see, what is this called? What are they calling it? They're calling it something bronze. Belly and thigh. Yeah, see, it's all mess. They all mess. So the belly and thighs of brass, but it's really bronze. But they got Greco-Macedonian kingdom, the leopard, Alexander the Great. But wait, where is Egypt? So, at the end of the day, the Gentiles are in confusion. This is their 12th woe. We will be saved out of it. This is likened to Jacob's trouble, but he will be saved out of it. But he's got to do something. And we know what we have to do, and we're doing it. And we're not entertaining these cats no more. These fools are out here spitting doo-doo out their mouth, feces out their mouths, thinking that we have to acknowledge it and entertain it, especially when it comes to matters of spirituality. They have none. Otherwise, their world would not have been given into the hand of the wicked. Netanyahu, Putin, Macron, all these guys and these people who claim to be leaders are set up, like Jubilee says, has been set up over the nations to lead them astray from our Father. Think about that. This is why none of them will tell the truth, because the truth isn't in them, and it's not been their purpose. Their purpose is to lead their people astray. They were to oppress us, put us in captivity, and lead their people astray. Hence why the 12th woe is a culmination of all the woes before it, because when it all comes out in the wash, when it's all said and done, they are full of wickedness. But hey, that's got nothing to do with us today. That's our good news. That's the beauty of who we are. In the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. That's our promise. Matter of fact, that's his promise to us. Matter of fact, that's his promise to Abraham about us. Because we have to be redeemed. What reason would the nations need redeeming when they have had their salvation already? There's no need for redemption for them. That's why salvation, though, comes through us to them, hence why they have to cleave to us, or the destroyer of the Gentiles will get them. And what is that? It's a mind thing, because we will be fine mentally when all the calamities, when the phones go out, when the power goes out, when there ain't no gas, when everything has changed, we'll be fine, because we know what it's like to have not in the Gentile world. But the Gentiles do not know what it's like to have not in their own world. Now, granted, there are some that do. Some that do. But their problem is that they are hatred. They have hatred of us. So those that will survive, self-convicted by their own selves, they will be killing and eating themselves. That's why this is a beautiful time for us. It's a fabulous time. And it's a small group of us, within the larger group of us. And we know that small group. There's only but a few of us that really are not concerning ourselves with color, not concerning ourselves with their politics, with their stories, their narratives, with their spirituality. Because you got a lot of brethren and sisters still talking about what they're doing or what they've done, but not talking about how we manifest up out of it. It's easy to talk about how trifling these people are, because they're trifling as hell. But the hardest thing is to show your own triflingness. That's the hardest thing, to see your own triflingness. But again, in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So we remember how trifling we were. And we don't want no more parts of triflingness. And that's the beauty of our redemption. We're not looking for reconciliation from them. That has nothing to do with us. That's between them and the Father. They have to reconcile themselves with our Father before the Father will allow them to cleave to us. They don't just come cleave and whoop-de-woo. They got to be allowed to cleave to us. That's why I don't browbeat all of them. Some of them are out here asking questions. Some of them are out here trying to understand. I can't call them all trolls, but I help them. I give them an answer. And if they accept it, great. If they don't, great. Not my problem. But we are now in our redemption. It used to be, hey, your redemption is near, it's near, it's nigh, it's nigh, it's near, it's in. No. We are now in it. We will say soon we have been redeemed. But now we are saying we are in the redeeming. We are being redeemed. We are in our redemption. And the world don't like it, obviously. And too bad, too sad, oh well. That's not going to stop the progress of the Father from redeeming us. That's why he said, come on down here, because you guys don't want to acknowledge my people. You don't want to acknowledge me. You want to stay on the course of idolatry. So you know what? Come on down here to this valley of Jehoshaphat, whatever name you want to call it, Jehoshaphat. Come on down over here where I gather you, because I'm doing this, and watch me judge you. And a lot of them are going to be like, oh, well, that's where Jesus is. He's in the wilderness. He's over there in Ukraine. Let's go over there. And they're going to go. Now, you got some pastors that are brothers talking about it's time to go to Africa. We got to get out of here. And I'm like, good, go. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not leaving my land. This is my land. My land loves me. I take care of my grass. It comes back. My peace tree out back. It loves me. This is my land. I feel a strong connection to it. I like the trees, the wind. The wind blows the right way. It takes care of me. It comforts me. Why would I leave it to go somewhere else? But this is also the cutting of the fat of Israel. 2/3 ain't 2/3 until they 2/3. Till they wake up realizing that they 2/3. I mean, imagine that. That's why we just need to stay the course, continue to stand in great boldness, continue to love our Father, love Yahweh, love Yahusha, love our Holy Spirit, our mother, love our brother, our sister, love ourselves. Fight against all the vices of this system, of the heathen world, and let the chips fall where they may. Let the chips fall where they may. Because that's all we can do. For on this day, it's ours. This is our day. There's no more days of the Gentiles. There's no more days of the heathens. This is the days of Israel. The days of our lives. Of Israel. The redeemed. The righteous. The kings. The queens. The princes. The princesses. The priests. The nation of Israel. The whole house thereof. This is our turn. Our time. All praises to our Father, to our Elohim. All praises for the destroyer of the Gentiles. All praises for our Aleph, our dove, our wisdom, our knowledge. All praises. All thankfulness for our nation, for our coming together, our gathering, our love for each other and the stranger that cleaves, that's been told to cleave, that has been allowed to cleave. We just want to be who we are to be. All praises, Israel. Our redemption is now. Shalom.
Every day, we rise, challenging ourselves to work for what we believe in. At U.S. Border Patrol, protecting our borders is more than a job. It's a calling. Agents answer the call, working together to keep our country and communities safe. If you are ready for a new mission, join U.S. Border Patrol and go beyond. Learn more at cbp.gov/careers.